sometimes release a white fluid from glands in the skin. Although this fluid may be quite poisonous to small animals, it is relatively harmless to man. Handling a toad will not cause warts. The tree frogs, or tree toads, are a third kind of tailless amphibian. These little animals, usually an inch to 2 inches long, are able to walk up a pane of glass. They do this with the aid of sticky suction pads on the tips of their long toes. They are called tree frogs because they are frequently found on trees, shrubs, and tall grasses. Frogs and toads are closely related. The fat animal on the left is a western toad. The thinner animal on the right is a bullfrog. The frog usually has a narrower waist. Its skin is frequently smooth and moist. The toes of a frog are webbed to help it swim. Frogs are usually found in and around water. The feet of a toad are not webbed as much as a frog's. It lives in drier places. The toad's skin is covered with small bumps. In their adult stages, the tailless amphibians breathe mainly with lungs. They breathe through nostrils, much as we do. Air is forced in and out of the body by movements of the throat. The eye of an amphibian is protected by a membrane, a kind of third transparent eyelid. The membrane covers the eye when the animal is underwater, yet allows it to see. The other major group of amphibians are those with tails. These are called salamanders. Some, but not all salamanders, spend part of their lives in water, developing from tadpoles, just as the frogs, toads, and tree frogs do. These salamanders are commonly called newts. Although salamanders look very much like lizards, it is easy to tell them apart. The skin of a salamander is smooth and without scales. Salamanders never have more than 4 toes on their front feet. Some salamanders, like this tree salamander, lay their eggs on damp soil. They do not go through a tadpole stage, and they never develop lungs. They breathe or absorb oxygen directly through their skins. They seldom go near water. Some salamanders, like this siren, live their lives entirely in water. The siren has 2 small front legs only. It breathes by means of bushy gills just in front of its 2 tiny legs, and it keeps these external gills all its life. If you look along the banks or in the water of freshwater streams, you will probably find members of the backboned animals called amphibians. There are 2 major groups of these animals. One group, those without tails, includes the frogs, the toads, and the tree frogs. They usually live their early lives in water, breathing with gills, and their adult lives on land, breathing mainly with lungs. Most go through a tadpole stage. The other group of amphibians, those with tails, are salamanders. Some, like this western newt, go through a gill-breathing tadpole stage. They breathe with lungs as adults. Some salamanders, like this tree salamander, may live entirely on land, breathing through their skins. They do not go through a tadpole stage. Still other salamanders, like this siren, live entirely in water, breathing with gills throughout life. Because most amphibians, like this western toad, eat insects during their adult lives, they are of great value. If you are lucky enough to have a toad in your garden, don't harm it or drive it away. Amphibians are harmless, and they help to keep the world free of harmful insects. They are good friends to man.